morning, everyone. You know what's better than the smell of fresh coffee? The fact that we're back. Sorry about yesterday, folks. Sometimes even mountains need a rest day.
You and your coffee analogies, Alex. But yes, we missed you all yesterday. Welcome to Blue Mountain Morning on this crisp Tuesday, February 4th.
Oh, and Mark brought actual Blue Mountain coffee today. How fitting is that?
I did indeed, because nothing says we're sorry for missing yesterday quite like premium Jamaican coffee.
Almost as smooth as your radio voice, Mark, almost.
Let's dive into today's headlines. And wow, there's quite a bit to unpack from the last days.
Oh my God, Mark, it's like someone hit the government shuffle button.
That's actually not far off. President Trump has signed a series of executive orders that are sending ripples through federal agencies, here in the U.S., but also internationally. Seems we have entered a new trade war. Although, to be fair, the newly implemented tariffs on Mexico and Canada are already paused again, and it looks like it's just one of Trump's signature move negotiation tactics.
Isn't Canada one of our closest allies?
Right. Those moves are creating some serious tension with our neighbors. You know things are getting weird when Canadians start booing at basketball games.
Wait, they're booing at basketball games now? That's so un-Canadian.
You know, tariffs are often mentioned when speaking about inflation, and we as Americans have been talking about inflation numbers a lot. But there's something deeper happening with the cost of living that isn't making headlines.
Oh my God, yes, like how my favorite ice cream somehow shrunk but costs the same? It's criminal, Mark. Criminal!
That's actually exactly what I'm talking about. It's called shrinkflation. Companies are quietly reducing product sizes while keeping prices the same. These subscription creeps are definitely part of the picture. But there's also what the government calls junk fees. Those hidden charges that show up everywhere from hotel bookings to concert tickets.
Oh, like when I booked that hotel last month and they hit me with a resort fee for a Holiday Inn.
Exactly. And here's what's fascinating. Americans are getting really creative with how they're dealing with all this. We're seeing a huge rise in bulk buying groups.
Like suburban mom fight clubs, but for Costco runs?
Something like that. People are forming buying cooperatives, sharing subscriptions, even starting community gardens. There's this whole underground economy of cost sharing that's emerging.
I actually joined one of those subscription sharing groups, though sometimes I forget whose Netflix password I'm using.
But there's a serious side to this too. These hidden price increases are hitting Americans harder than official inflation numbers suggest. When you combine shrinkflation, junk fees, and subscription creep, some experts estimate the real cost increase is nearly double what's reported.
You know what's wild? My grandmother could tell you exactly what a gallon of milk cost in 1965, but now I can't even tell if I'm paying more because everything's constantly changing.
That's because pricing has become incredibly complex. Companies are using sophisticated algorithms to adjust prices sometimes multiple times per day. And with all these different fees and changing package sizes, it's almost impossible for consumers to make direct comparisons.
So what you're saying is, we're all basically living in a real-life version of extreme couponing?
In a way, yes. But it's forcing some really interesting changes in consumer behavior. People are becoming much more intentional about their spending, building stronger community networks, and getting creative with resource sharing.
Like that family in my neighborhood who turned their entire front yard into a vegetable garden.
Exactly. And while these changes are challenging, they're also spurring some positive innovations in how Americans support each other and manage resources. It's not just about cutting back, it's about finding smarter ways to live. You know, speaking of finding smarter ways to live, I've been thinking about how these economic pressures are actually teaching us something valuable about resilience.
Ooh, is this going to be one of your wisdom moments? Because I'm actually here for it today.
Well, I was talking to this woman who started a neighborhood skills exchange. Instead of paying for services, people trade what they're good at. Like, she does tax prep for her neighbor who teaches her kids piano.
That's actually genius, though all I'm really good at is making elaborate spreadsheets and panic buying groceries.
Hey, spreadsheet skills are valuable. But here's what really struck me. She said this whole inflation situation forced her to get creative, and now she knows her neighbors better than ever.
It's like we're all in this weird economic escape room together, trying to figure out the puzzles.
And you know what? Sometimes the best solutions come when we're pushed out of our comfort zones. It's not just about surviving the squeeze, it's about finding new ways to thrive. You know, I was watching a willow tree in my backyard during that big storm last week. While the stiff oak branches were cracking and breaking, the willow just danced with the wind.
Are you about to turn this into some deep life metaphor? Because I can feel it coming.
Think about it. In times of financial pressure, we can either be rigid and break or we can learn to bend like that willow, finding our flow, adapting our shape.
But still keeping our roots. I see what you did there, Mark. That's actually pretty beautiful.
Sometimes, the strongest thing we can do is simply sway with the changes, knowing that, like all storms, this too shall pass.
And maybe, just maybe, we'll come out of it even more resilient than before.
As we wrap up today's Blue Mountain Morning, remember that resilience isn't just about weathering the storm. It's about finding beauty in the dance.
And hey, if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed today, just think of that willow tree. Take it one gentle sway at a time.
We'll be right here tomorrow morning, ready to start another day together with clarity and calm.
Same mountain time, same mountain podcast.
Really, Alex? That's what you're going with?
Hey, I'm sticking to it. See you tomorrow, everyone.